All aboard! Roads down memory lane! Hello everyone, I'm Edward Reabor, honored to be with you. I wanted to get my thoughts on some events that took place this past week. First, I'm going to start with wrestling, and this is a wrestling promotion that I hardly ever watched, but I stumbled upon it this past Thursday. TNA, Total Nonstop Action, Impact Wrestling. I've again, this is something I rarely watch. I do. I know a buddy of mine that watches it quite a bit because he keeps up with the Hardys. They're on there. They used to be called the Hardy Boys in WWE, but they're called the Hardys in the Impact Wrestling. Now, there were two matches that stuck out to me in particular. One is a bunkhouse rules match. Now, this is a match that's like hard. They would call it hardcore matches in back in the day for WWE, but for Impact Wrestling they call it bunkhouse matches. Now, this was the first women's bunkhouse match that they had. It was between Tessa Blanchard and Jody Threat. These two ladies just went right at each other right from the start. Uh, Tessa, she got the better of Jody when it came down to the end of the match, but this is a matchup that could have gone either way. So I got to commend both ladies for fighting it out right from the start. Another match that also made history was the first time since they changed networks that they've had a women's main event match. This was between Xia Brookside and Ariana Grace. Now, with both of these ladies, they used to actually Ariana Grace is still with WWE. She's on the NXT brand. I remember Xia Brookside used to be on WWE as well, but this was before I came back, before I started watching wrestling WWE again. I took a brief hiatus from watching it. I wouldn't say brief; it was like over a decade hiatus, but nonetheless, these two ladies put up a good fight. I was hoping that Xia Brookside would get the win because I'm not the biggest Ariana Grace fan, but it is what it is. Ariana Grace prevailed at the end to keep her Knockouts championship, and you gotta give credit to Stax because he give credit to Stax because he put his nose in where it shouldn't have been, but nonetheless, Ariana Grace won. Now, moving on to NXT on Saturday, some history was made when Lola Vice won the NXT Women's Championship. She's the first Cuban American to win an NXT title, so congrats to her. Moving on to other sporting events, I'm going to get my thoughts on some of the UFL games that have taken place over the first couple of weeks of the season. Specifically, the new teams, the Louisville Kings and Columbus Aviators. They're off to a slow start. They're combined 0 for 4. I was hoping Louisville would get that first win against Birmingham, but I know it was a tall task considering the fact that Birmingham, they're like the spring football legends as it pertains to their dominance. Before last season, they won 3 straight spring league championships. So that was definitely a tough matchup for Louisville. But in their last game they played in Orlando, I didn't watch a ton of the game, but it didn't seem like their offense really got going. You got to give credit to Orlando's defense because their defense has been pretty good to start the season. Their head coach Anthony Beck, he's really put his fingerprints on this on the Storm. He's really got them locked in and focused. Looking at the Columbus Aviators, I haven't really I didn't really pay much attention to their first game. Uh, it, when I watched their last game, their offense was a bit inconsistent. They had some sparks here and there, but I just don't know what it is. They just kept committing these untimely turnovers, specifically in the second half against the DC Defenders. It was just hard to watch. They did pick it up late in the fourth quarter, but by that point the game had already been decided. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Louisville and Columbus pan out the rest of the season. I'm hoping at least one of these new teams gets into the playoffs. It's probably going to be Orlando. And I've got to give a quick shout out to the Houston Gamblers. They beat the Birmingham Stallions. Considering the way Houston played in their last game against Dallas, they gave up the most passing yards in UFL history. Shout out to
Austin Reed.
Houston, they had a nice bounce back game against the Stallions. They got a game-winning field goal for the win, so they're 1-1 on the season, and Birmingham is 1-1 as well. When it comes to these powerhouse teams, people get a sense that if you lose one game, it's like the sky is falling, and people in Birmingham are losing their minds. It's like, oh no, I thought we were the Spring Kings, but it's just one game. Their new coach AJ McCarron, he's done a nice job with the Stallions. I'm sure he'll have a game plan set up for their next game. And speaking of the next game, the next UFL game is going to be on Tuesday, a Tuesday night game. How rare is that for football? It's going to be between the St. Louis Battlehawks and the Dallas Renegades, so that'll be another fun one. Both teams coming off big home wins to start the season, so that will be a fun one to watch. Moving on to the NBA, this is going to be the last week of the regular season, so to me, I just think that the regular season's, I haven't been all that impressed with the regular season. I might be a bit biased because the Mavericks haven't been doing well, but nonetheless, I'm really looking forward to the play-in matchups. That's probably the appetizer to the playoffs. So if there's a team that I would be most concerned about in the play-in, I would probably be most concerned for Orlando because of the way that they've played these past few games. It's just puzzling to see the way they've performed. Hopefully they can get it together once this play-in tournament takes place. Hopefully for their sake they can at least have one home game to play well in front of their home crowd, because if they have to go on the road for either of the play-in games, it's going to be tough sledding for them. That's just going to do it for Roads Down Memory Lane. And remember to always keep your eye on the road. You never know where it will take you.